Introduction to operating system. So students, this is your very first chapter in the computer science part 1 or the software part. What is operating system? Operating system acts as an interface between the user and the hardware. Means if user wants to communicate with any of the hardware or the application programs, then it is only possible with the help of operating system. Basically, operating system is a software program. Means to make the operating system, we have a software instructions using which a operating system is made by the programmer. Okay, operating system is stored in the main memory of the computer. If user wants to install the operating system in the computer, then it is installed in the main memory, and out of the full memory, about 1/3 of the memory is occupied by the operating system in order to save it. So in short, students, operating system helps the user to execute their instructions by using the different components of the computer. Without operating system, computer is just a machine. That machine cannot do any type of calculations and other processings. Only with the help of operating system, user is able to perform the operations within the computer. Okay students, so operating system is a resource allocator which can helps to allocate the resources to the user while they are executing the instruction. Means if user wants to execute the MS Word, so MS Word only the user can execute if there is a operating system. Without operating system, user cannot use the MS Word or user cannot use the web browsers in the computer. So only with the help of operating system, users can perform all these tasks. So basically, operating system is the resource allocator. So basically, operating system is having two goals. First one is convenience and second one is efficiency. Means operating system इस टाइप का होना चाहिए जो users को convenient लगे and efficient लगे. Means कि operating system इस तरह का डिजाइन होना चाहिए कि उसको कोई unprofessional या layman भी उसको use कर पाए conveniently without any problems. Second one is operating system should be efficient. Efficiency means कि जब भी कोई यूजर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम को यूज करता है तो उसके रिजल्ट्स एफिशिएंट होने चाहिए. मींस कि हमने कुछ कमांड दिया और हमारा रिजल्ट कुछ और आएगा तो वो सब जो है वो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के केस में नहीं होना चाहिए. सो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम शुड बी एफिशिएंट एंड द कन्वीनियंट. सो दीज आर द टू गोल्स ऑफ द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, हमारे पास डिफरेंट टाइप्स के ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल विंडोज 95, this is the operating system. Windows 3.0, Windows 98, Windows XP Professional, Linux. Okay, so these are the different types of the operating systems that we can install in our computer. Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. So there are the different versions of the operating system. Now operating system can perform three types of services. First one is the information and the file management. So information and the file management means operating system can helps to manage the files and directories in our computer. Suppose if we want to create any file or any folder in our computer, that is done by the operating system only. If we want to delete any file and directory, again that is done by the operating system. So that means all the operations that are related to the files and folders, that is done or managed by the operating system. Second one is process management. Suppose if a user is writing any program for execution, so in order to manage that program, that is done by the operating system. Suppose if we want to execute that program, so that is done by the operating system. If we want to push that program from the primary memory to the secondary or vice versa, again that is done by the process management of operating system. So all the functions that are related to the process or a program is done by the operating system. Next one is the memory management. Memory management means in order to release the memory from any of the program and in order to allocate the memory to any program, that is done by the operating system. Okay, suppose कि मेरा कोई process P1 है, I want to store this program in the memory. Then Who will do that work? That work will be done by the operating system. So in order to allocate and deallocate memory, operating system will do that work. Windows 98. So this is the type of the operating system that was developed by the Microsoft. It is purely graphical user interface, means in order to access the computer we have to use the graphical elements like icons, folders, etc. Now students, before Windows 98, Microsoft developed other operating systems with name DOS. So DOS is the disk operating system that was purely command based. If we want to access anything in this type of operating system, then we have to write the commands. After that, the other operating system that was developed by the Microsoft is Windows 3.0. Okay. And after Windows 3.0, the other one is Windows 95. So students, Windows 95 is again the graphical user interface and more user friendly as compared to the DOS and Windows 3.0. Students, these are the different features of Windows 98. First one is the more entertaining. This operating system is very entertaining, means if we want to run any high quality audios and videos, then it is possible in this type of operating system. If we want to insert or if we want to play the DVDs, again it will provide us the facilities to play the DVDs, जो इससे पहले वाले operating systems में facility नहीं था. Next one is the true web integration. True web integration means if we want to connect to the internet using any of the web browsers, then it is possible in case of the Windows 98. इससे पहले वाले operating systems में इतना smoothly हम web को use नहीं कर पाते थे, but in case of the Windows 98, user can smoothly use the World Wide Web pages for internet. Next one is the universal serial bus. That means if we want to connect number of devices with our computer, then it is possible with this operating system. Before this operating systems, if we want to connect the devices, then we have to restart the computer. But in this case, there is no need to restart the computer if we are attaching any device with the computer to use it. Next one is easy to use. Students, this operating system is very easy to use. Here the navigation is very easy. If a user wants to jump from one folder to another folder, then the navigation is very easy. Using the mouse pointers, we can go to any memory location. With a single click, we can select any of the file. If we can double click, we can open the file. So it is very easy to use. Even the layman और जिनको नॉलेज नहीं है ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का यूज करने का, वो भी दे कैन ऑल्सो यूज दिस टाइप ऑफ द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. Next is the power management. Power management means while we are starting our computer, then it will take very less time to start. Before this operating systems, if we want to load the operating system in our computer, then it takes several minutes. But in case of Windows 98, there is a very good power management using which it can take very few seconds to open the computer. Next one is help. Students, if we want to get any help related to the Windows or other topics, then we can use the World Wide Web. Using that, we can get the help from the internet. Next is the multiple display support. That means if we want to increase the size of our computer screen, then we can attach multiple computers with each other. So that is possible in case of the Windows 98. वो उससे पहले वाले operating systems में possible नहीं था. So these are all the features of Windows 98. Next type of operating system is Windows NT. So NT stands for New Technology. It is a fully fledged operating system like other operating systems. It was developed in July 1993. Students, this operating system is multi-user operating system. That means multiple users at a time can use this operating system to perform their task. Next is it is multitasking operating system. Is within a single process we have multiple tasks, so all the tasks can be executed by the CPU simultaneously. Next one is it is multi-threading. Multi-threading means again the task is divided into threads. So that means each and every thread within the single task is executed by the CPU individually. Suppose the task is XYZ, suppose. So this is the task within the program. So threading means each and every thread will be executed by CPU individually. Means CPU X को execute करेगा and after that it will execute the Y and after that it will execute the Z and again it will come to the X, Y and Z. So that means Windows NT will follow the preemptive scheduling algorithm. Means CPU will jump from one process to another process within the memory. So that means the time quantum is set for each and every process. जैसे ही वो time quantum खत्म होगा, then CPU will jump to the other process. Next one is new technology. Windows will follow the file system with name NTFS, that stands for new technology file system. So this is a very strong file system in order to save the files and directories in the memory. Students, if we want to save a file with a name, then it can support up to 256 characters in order to save the file. Suppose if we are giving the name to any file, then the name ka length should be up to 256 characters. That means ki 256 characters that we can specify the name for a file. Next one is this is the architecture of the Windows NT. So students, सबसे पहले last layer is hardware. That means the output devices that are connected with your computer. So that is known as the hardware. Now students, next one is the hardware abstraction layer. Hardware abstraction layer is the layer which is used for the hardware specific function. Means it can provide the hardware specific functions to the user. For example, it can handle the interrupt, it comes from the external devices. It can handle the memory management, synchronization of the processes handled by the hardware abstraction layer. Direct memory access, that is DMA, that is handled by the hardware abstraction layer. Next is above this there is a kernel. So students, this is a very important part in any of the operating system. So we have two modes in our operating system. One is the kernel mode and second one is the user mode. So here this is the user mode and this is the kernel mode. Kernel mode means operating system side and user mode means our side. If we are writing any program, then that means we are writing it in the user mode. But if those programs are executing within the computer memory, that means that part is the kernel mode. जहाँ पे हम अपने programs लिख रहे हैं वो हमारा mode है, that is user mode. But जहाँ पे हमें उन programs को जाके execute करना है, so execution is done by the kernel mode. So this is the core part of the operating system which is used to assign the resources to the user to execute its program. Okay, so it can provide the CPU time, memory to the or hardware devices to the user in order to execute its instruction. And these are the different modules that comes under the Windows NT architecture. So students, first one is Object Manager. Object Manager is used to manage the files and directories that are saved in your computer. Means if you want to open a file, that is done by the Object Manager. If you want to close the file, again it is done by the Object Manager. So Object Manager can manage all the files, all the processes and all the threads and all the tasks within your memory. Next one is the Security Reference Monitor. Windows NT can support the security policies. Means if unauthorized user tries to or attempt to use this operating system, then they can restrict them from to do so. So there are the certain restriction policies that comes under the Windows NT8 which can make it a more secure and stronger operating system. Next one is the Process Manager. Process Manager is used to handle the processes. If we want to suspend the process, if we want to block the process, if we want to shift the process from main memory to secondary memory, or from the secondary memory to the main memory, or if we want to delete the process, then that is done by the process manager. Next one is a virtual memory manager. Virtual memory manager means if we have not sufficient space in the primary memory, then in order to save our program, we can hire some memory from the secondary devices. So that is done by this operating system, and that memory which is in the secondary memory and is used to save our programs for the execution, that memory is known as the virtual memory, and that is handled by the virtual memory manager. Next one is the local procedure call facility. Means if we want to send the messages from one program to another program, then that is done by the local procedure call. Means if two programs wants to communicate with each other, then the communication is possible with the help of local procedure call. Now these are other modules. First, this is the input output manager, which can manage the input and output devices. So first is the file system. If we want to save any file in any memory, either in the secondary memory or in the primary memory, then that is handled by this file system. If we want to store our file in the contiguous manner, then again it is handled by the file system. If we want to save our file in the different location, then again it is handled by the file system. Next one is the cache memory. Cache memory is the smallest and the fastest memory with which CPU can directly interact. Means if the contents are saved in the cache memory, then the CPU can execute those contents fast as compared to the secondary memory and the main memory. So again there is a cache manager in case of the Windows NT, and the size of cache memory is less than that of the size of the main memory. Next is the device drivers. Device drivers are the subroutines or the programs that are designed by the programmer in order to handle the input output devices. For example, if we want to operate the mouse, okay, then we can click with the help of mouse, but upon clicking, why the file is open? That means there is some programming behind that. Using that programming, the file will be opened by just clicking from the mouse. So that programming is within the device manager. So for each and every input output device, there are the device drivers that are installed in our computer. Next is the network drivers. If we want to use the internet in our computer, then to use the internet in our computer, there are the network drivers. If these drivers are installed in our computer, then only we are able to access the internet, otherwise not. So this is the overall architecture of the Windows NT. Next type of operating system is Linux. So Linux is a operating system that was developed by the Linus Torvalds as a hobby initially, but later on it becomes a powerful operating system. So it was developed in 1991 by the Linus Torvalds in Finland. Students, Linux is a open and free operating system. That means it is freely available on the internet, and anyone can use that operating system and install it in their computers without any license. Okay, so that means it is freely available on the internet. Next is, it is the open source operating system. That means its code is freely available on the internet. According to the user requirements, they can change the coding of this operating system, and they can use for their own personal use also. Now, next student, Linux is basically installed in the server computers because this is a very powerful operating system. So users can use it in the server computers also. Next is, this Linux is used in the electronic gadgets, our watches, smartphones, computers, anywhere. So the different types of Linux operating system are Ubuntu and Fedora. So these are the operating system. These are the Linux operating system, Ubuntu and Fedora. These are the Linux operating systems. So next is Linux is multi-user and multi-programming operating system. That means multiple users can use this operating system at a time, and also it is a multi-programming operating system. That means multiple programs can be executed simultaneously, and each and every program will get a chance to get the CPU in order to execute their programs. So Linux is basically a very strong operating system. Now next is students, this is the architecture of the Linux, where we have important things, that is kernel, system libraries, system utilities, and the users that we are. Okay, so here this is the user mode and this is the kernel mode. So initially first one is the kernel. So kernel means kernel can provide all the major activities or all the major resources to the user in order to execute their instructions. So this is the core part of the operating system. That means if user wants to interact with any of the hardware, then it is possible only with the help of kernel. If user want to access any facility of the operating system, then again it is given to the user by the kernel. Kernel will provide the CPU time, hardware resources, RAM, ROM, memory, input, output devices to the user in order to perform their activities. So main part in any of the operating system is kernel. Next one is the system libraries. System libraries are the collection or the set of functions that helps to implement the functionality of the operating system. Means there are the lots of functions that comes under the system libraries. Using those functions, one can execute their programs using the operating system. For example, if we want to call any program, so that means this is the function, and the coding of this function is within the system libraries. So means for every time if we want to call a function, then again and again there is no need to write a code for this call function. The coding behind this function is within the system library. Through system library you can use the call function only, and the background code will be executed automatically by the kernel. Okay, so now these are the system libraries. Now suppose Linux is a multi-programming operating system. That means at a time multiple programs can access this system library. So system library is designed in such a way that if multiple requests comes in the system libraries to execute their function, then there should be no error and there should be no interference among the program. Means कि अगर मेरा कोई function है sx और एक function है y, these both functions are present in the system library. P1 function wants to access this y and P2 प्रोग्राम वांट्स टू एक्सेस दिस एक्स फंक्शन. सो दैट मीन्स कि एक टाइम पे ही अगर ये दोनों प्रोग्राम्स भी एग्जीक्यूट हो रहे हैं तो दोनों में इंटरफेरेंस नहीं आएगी व्हाइल दे आर शेयरिंग द कॉमन सिस्टम लाइब्रेरी. नेक्स्ट वन इज द सिस्टम यूटिलिटीज. सो स्टूडेंट्स, सिस्टम यूटिलिटीज इज द स्पेशलाइज्ड individual task, and we can say that a system utilities are the system softwares that helps to maintain, configure and customize the computer system. So this is the system libraries. And next is the users, that we are the users who wants to submit their programs or request into the computer system in order to execute it. So this is the overall architecture of the Linux. So the features of Linux are, in shortcut I will tell you again the features of Linux are, these features are very very important. First feature is Linux is free and open source operating system. Second feature is it is multi-user operating system. Third feature is it is multi-programming operating system. Next feature is it is used as in the server computers as well. Next feature is it is used in electronic gadgets, mobile phones, etc. Next feature is it is network friendly. That means this Operating system can support multiple protocols like TCP, IP, UDP, SMTP, FTP. So all the protocols are supported by the Linux. So that means it is the network friendly. Next feature is it is portable. That means it can support all hardware types. Wherever we want to install this operating system, it can easily run on that particular machine. It has the security features. Next is it is powerful operating system. So these are the different features of the Linux. You can note these features also. So this is all about the Linux operating system.